New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Nick of Time show here, giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to talk about a bad loss to the Pacers. Knicks lose to the Pacers 121 to 132. And we're going to talk about it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, and another fourth quarter collapse for this Knicks predicated on the lack of defense, man. But before we get into the details of the game, I'm going to introduce you to my guy, the Latin assassin, Lee Escobedo. What's going on, Lee?
Jay Ellis, it was like a funeral before we got onto the show. It was like dead silence between all of us. Maybe you and Fritz, none of us had anything to say. I'm guessing we were all waiting for the show. I certainly was. And if you're a positive Knicks Twitter, positive Knicks fan, you might want to tune out because I'm going to be very critical tonight. I think there's a lot of criticism to go around, and it starts with Tom Thibodeau, Leon Rose, and Mikal Bridges. And I'll leave it at that before we jump into the show.
Yeah, and I think I'm going the same direction that you're going in, right, Lee? First, I want to start out by saying I have never been the minutes police guy, but at this moment, I find myself having to stop and frisk Tom Thibodeau because I feel like it's criminal what he's doing right now, and this is like the emo Twitter language where the Twitter criminal, diabolical, all the little buzzwords that people use to get a rise out of people. That's kind of become cliche and kind of disgusting. I think it's applicable today. There is no reason we should be going 6 deep against the Pacers specifically. Because of how high octane their offense is, how much they move the ball, how much they run, how much it's required of your team to exert all the energy on both sides of the floor, or otherwise you get blown out. You cannot require players to play 40 minutes of that style of basketball without adequate rest, or what happens is what you see happen today. Now, we have to give these other guys some run. Kolik only had 2 minutes. Bacombe didn't play anything. Josh Hart played 42 minutes today. You're gonna get this guy another ab strain the way he's playing him. Like, we just have to at some point lean on somebody else. Tom Thibodeau has to trust other people, even if it goes wrong, even if they're not playing perfectly on defense, just because it's physically impossible to keep that pace up especially against the Pacers. And I'm gonna just stop there and let Lee go because I'm pretty sure that's where he's going with this.
Man, there's a lot to light into tonight. Offensively, defensively, coaching. I think the construction of the roster agree with everything you just said. For me, it starts off, man, I just would just hit these 1 point at a time. It's about knowing your enemy. If you're playing Detroit Pistons on a Wednesday night, you know they have no bench depth, you know they struggle shooting. So you have one, they're playing a 7-man rotation. 2, as a team, they lack shooting at every position. Isaiah Stewart might be the only plus shooter. Positionally, as a 5, he gives you the stretchability. No one else gives you anomaly shooting-wise at any other position. It's either like a normal Mikal Beasley or Tim Hardaway Jr. to shoot the 2, but there's no like stretch 5 or a point guard who can do pull-up beyond the break threes. There's none of that. Made sense, right? But against this team, against the Pacers, the system is high-efficiency shots. It's ball movement. Doesn't matter if Nembhard isn't playing. It doesn't matter if Naismith isn't playing. It only matters if 2 guys are playing. Halliburton and Miles Turner. Facts. If those 2 are playing, then everyone else is plug and play. Some guys bring in a huge intangible, like TJ McConnell. He can get in the mid-range, cut you down, push shot, pull up, fade away, trick shot. He has that bag. But everyone else, from Bandit Mathurin to these random bums that came in off the bench that hadn't played all season, as long as you can play good team defense and shoot the 3, you're basically playing the same team no matter what. as long as those two guys were there. Those two guys were there. In the fourth quarter, they both started cooking at their highest velocity. Tyrese Halliburton was in his bat as a playmaker, and Miles Turner was hitting above the break threes, corner threes, splashing on us, and we were still playing them as if they were a system team running low pick and roll or drive to the hoop. They are a high pick and roll, spray out to the shooters type team. Again, it does not matter who you're playing. You're playing the system no matter what when you're playing Indiana, and we did not game plan tonight. That is scary. That's a serious problem because Tom Thibodeau is supposed to be your game planning coach. Everyone's always supposed to be prepared, and he's supposed to be a defensive genius. I have seen neither of those two things this season in the fourth quarter in games that were up and in games where we need to be better on defense after a blowout. You want to maintain that momentum and maintain some of those strengths that you showed, and we go right back to square one after a good win. So absolutely inexcusable. I put the primary blame on Leon Rose. And then on Tom Thibodeau, and then right after that, to me, it's Leon Rose. I want to talk about that as well.
All good points. All good points about the plug and play. All good points about Miles Turner and those guys operating on all cylinders. I feel like the Knicks in general, in terms of that system, never got the memo like, hey, that corner three is going to be open. It didn't matter what we did. They were just seeking out that right corner three every single time, and it seems like we never adjusted at all. It was freaking sickening. I'm gonna turn around. I was like, I guess it's like I know it's gonna happen. I'm gonna just wild guess what's gonna happen. Halliburton gets to the paint. Swing corner three. Wow, look, I'm so surprised. It happened. It's like they were hunting that corner three all fourth quarter, and it was pissing me off. And like the three differential, like we talk about three differential, we have Cat who's supposed to be, and the Cat had a phenomenal game.
Yes.
Offensively. Matter of fact, Brunson had a phenomenal game offensively. Brunson had 30 and 10.
And we lost.
And we lost. But it's like, it's the details. The 3-point shooting, we have to get more volume threes up. And Cat had 5 threes. That top of the break three has to be more utilized in our offense. And I know it's small things, but Cat was 2 for 5. We need more of those above the break threes. We need more threes generated in general. And that brings you to Mikal too, who's been really good in that mid-range, but hasn't been hitting any threes for the most of the season. We need him to wake the hell up. I don't know what happened with him. I don't know if he still has the Brooklyn stench. I'm from Brooklyn, so I don't even want to talk smack about Brooklyn. But that Brooklyn team stench on him, but he needs to take a shower in that Manhattan water and wash that off because he's been stinking up the place.
Before we hop to Mikal Bridges, because I definitely want to light his ass up, I want to stay on Thibs for a minute. Something that's been really disappointing in Tom Thibodeau is since he came in New York, and oh man, I wish I had a Thibs intern to debate tonight. Damn it, I've been a Thibs intern for the last 2 seasons because I've been really happy with him. But this season has really worried me. I'm gonna be honest with you. He is a horrible in-game adjuster. He's a phenomenal game-to-game adjuster. Game to game, watching the tape, breaking down, making adjustments, and coming in with a new game plan. He's one of the best in the NBA. But in game, damn it. I tweeted in the second quarter, and we talked about this before. Put OG on Benedict Mathurin ASAP. Don't wait to the fourth quarter. Don't wait till he's already hot and he's doing heat checks. Do it in the second quarter where you start getting ball denial and you force those bums who hadn't played it all to create off the dribble, force turnovers, get in transition. And he didn't. He waited to the fourth quarter again to try to put OG as a primary defender. Why are we going under screens? Why are we going under screens against players that cannot attack closeouts, that have no first step, that don't even have repetitions of playing regular NBA season minutes this early in the season? Don't go under screens. You give them the only shot they have, which is wide open. Josh Hart was doing that all game. I get it if Brunson does it. Okay. Even Cat. But OG, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart, at least Art,
Gotta
what the hell is going on? These are
switch.
simple in-game adjustments. It's okay, man. You have your game plan, you have your scheme. You have to be malleable enough to change if you're getting annihilated in one or two specific areas. And he has been all season. This is not the first game we've been going under strings. I have said this before in the show. I've tweeted it, and I have an elementary understanding of offense and defense. He's a 20-year head coach. What the hell is going on? Why is my amateur ass able to see it and he can't adjust with it? Oh man, I'm sorry, bro. I haven't gotten fried in a while, and I am pissed at this loss because there was another choke job masterclass in the fourth quarter that we haven't seen since the Fizdale years. And I hate any PTSD that reminds me of that. We are too good of a team. There's too much talent on both ends of the ball to collapse to a team that's only elite on one side of it. I don't understand. Got to be better. No excuses.
And here's the thing about, there's one theory I have. I don't know if it's correct or not, but this seems to be a Thibs theory. Thibs likes to go a large chunk of games with one system before he adjusts. I don't know if that's why he's refusing to like doing a lot more switching defense and just stick with the game plan for these. That could be what's happening. But I'm with you, Lee. I feel like we need to kind of switch out the system sometimes to because we have versatile defenders. We should take advantage of the versatility. I 100% agree with your assessment of the in-game adjustments not happening quick enough. Bennett McNamara had like a career 3-point shooting night. He was cooking in the first half. Why wait another quarter and a half to do something? I completely just don't understand. I don't get it at all. Again, I completely agree with that point altogether. I don't know, man. And one thing I will say is with new teams, usually that fourth quarter is where you kind of because you haven't had the time together. The fourth quarter is where you collapse a lot of times when you're a new team because you're still trying to learn each other. But with a game like today, I can't even lean on that just because we still overplayed these guys. So if like any other, they need to get used to each other. They need to find a rhythm. When you're playing guys 40 plus minutes, I can't even just say that because you can just totally be tired. When your other team plays 40 minutes, when the other team drops 40 in the fourth quarter, something could be wrong. And Benedict Drackman wasn't even doing it this time because, like you said, OG was locking them down. I just feel like we just got tired of rotating. I just feel like the legs went from under them, and we just had nothing left in the tank. And we have to figure that out. We have to figure out how to guard above the break threes. We have to play better defensively. We have to.
That brings me to my next point, and this will go into the Mikal Bridges trade. When I look at this trade, and everyone on the show is pretty rational too. Like, we understand that the Nets always had the leverage with us. 5 first-round picks, that was a Knicks tax. No other team would have had to give up that many picks to acquire him. So when I think about the trade, I don't think about 5 first-round picks. I really think about like 3, like 2 of our own and in Milwaukee. The extra 2, no other team would have had to pay that. We did that because we wanted Mikal with Brunson. It made sense, and I understand why Leon Rose did it. But as of right now, this was a major fleece. Brooklyn Nets absolutely fleeced us because he was supposed to come in and raise our ceiling. And right now he's affecting our floor. And we are at a disadvantage with him on the court offensively because of his passivity and his reluctance to shoot open threes when he has it. And because the way we're using him in Tom Thibodeau's system as that corner Devo, Bullock, Grimes, Fournier role, which he is so much more than that. And we're limiting his overall effectiveness by putting him into a system and a role as opposed to running the offense through him on ball. That's Thibs' fault. That's also his fault for not being as aggressive as he was the last 2 seasons in Brooklyn/New Jersey. Second, defensively, he's been getting cooked. The games where we have either choked the lead away or gotten blown the hell out are games where there's been an on-ball, attack-oriented point guard. You think about Darius Garland in Cleveland. You think about tonight with Tyrese Halliburton. You think about Houston with Fred VanVleet. Those point guards and Trae Young with the Hawks have destroyed us at the point of attack. That was the specific reason we brought in Mikal Bridges. The long, athletic wings, the stretch fours, even the 5s. That's OG. But the strong backcourt players. We saw Kyrie Irving torch OG Anunoby last year when he played Dallas. We realize we need a point of attack defender. We trade 5 first-round picks to get supposedly a top 3 POA defender, and he's been cheats overall for the majority of the season, not just on defense, but on offense too. It's almost like the same passivity we saw from Grimes and RJ, where the confidence isn't even there for him to hit shots outside of his key corner positions. Anything beyond that, or anything in the upper mid range, we haven't seen him be aggressive. He has to either have an offensive rebound, go into his turnaround fadeaway, but he's not attacking the basket. It's limited, and it's pulling back from everything that he gives you as a 3-level scorer, drawing fouls, hitting free throws. We've seen none of that. As of right now, that trade is a complete fleece, but I think we can turn around. I just don't know if we're ever going to get the all-star level Bridges, but if we can at least at the Phoenix Suns level Bridges, first team all defense, 18 points per game, I'll be happy.
I think it's too early to say fleece word, but I saw you pull it back at the end when you said as of right now.
Right.
So I'll take that in consideration, but like I think it's too early. Like we got to give it a whole season at least minimum to see where Mikal Bridges lands. He is a career 39% shooting 3-point player. I would expect that would turn around at some point. So I'm not giving up my Mikal Bridges hope as of yet. As far as his point of attack defense, yes, it's left much to be desired. But also I feel like it's more complicated than that because point of attack defense sometimes is more than just, one-on-one defense. And a lot of the time it's like, I have to navigate a screen, and I also have to rely on another teammate to hedge, slow him down so that I can catch up. I kind of feel like it's harder to say he's not playing good defense when he's playing a lot of pick and roll guards, and you need 2 people to play pick and roll. So
fair point.
I'll push back on that a little bit when it comes to his defense. When it comes to his tentativeness, I'm 100% with you on that. It could be him just trying to figure out his role, figure out when to be aggressive or not. But I was arguing with Ebony about his touches and how he was turning the ball over a little bit too much because he was just looking for a bailout. Like he was playing nervous. It seemed like certain games where he's like, I got the ball, I got the post, I got the man I want in the post, but I just want to hurry up and get rid of the ball. And it's like, it's weird. Like he had the game against the Pacers where he was just posting the hell out of everybody. And I expected to see some of that today because that's absolutely where he has the advantage. And I didn't see that today. The 3-point shot has to come back at some point. It hasn't come back yet. I'm hoping that's going to come back around. I feel like that the offensive part of his game will come back around. Defensively, I think Thibs just has to utilize him better, was what I'll say.
Very fair counterpoints. I'll counterpoint your counterpoint with he was a player that wasn't supposed to be a project. We traded that level of cash of draft assets because again, we thought he would affect our ceiling, not our floor. We thought the things we could definitely count on is him pulling the trigger from 3 and him playing excellent defense as an individual and a team. And those are the 2 things that we haven't been able to count on him from outside of the corner. We've seen no movement shooting. We haven't even seen high volume shooting. We haven't even seen him a memorable big shot to win a game or maintain a lead. There's been none of that. It's basically been Grimes 2.0 out there. And that is why I say, as of right now, the trade is a fleece because we helped them tank and be competitive with our picks while lowering the ceiling of our championship aspirations because of his inability to be the second or third option offensively. OG's been outplaying him on offense and getting dog walked on defense by all of his guards that really aren't superstars. Darius Garland, Trae Young, very good, great, all-star, not superstars, and he's been dog walked by them. And a big reason why we've collapsed in the 4th quarter too, because Tyrese Halliburton all of a sudden got going, both as a playmaker and as a scorer, and by that time there was no stopping them.
Yeah, I know. I understand the frustration of Mikal Bridges for sure. I still don't put all the defense on Mikal Bridges per se. We'll just have to wait and see how that folds out. OG Anunoby, however, I've been really, really pleased with the way he's playing.
Yeah.
To me, he's probably the bright spot of today for me.
Mhm.
Even the last game he's played, he didn't score a bunch of points, but the impact he had playing the Bucks just on defense itself was astronomical. And it was again today. The 3-point shooting, the awareness to know when to pose players, the even his mid-range game has come along, complete game for OG Anunoby. Worth the money in my opinion.
Yes.
We just need him to stay healthy. He's been healthy. Every time he falls, I hold my breath, but he's still going.
Me too. Gives me acid digestion.
for sure. For
Oh
sure.
man.
But I'm really, really pleased with OG. I'm really, really pleased with OG. And it's funny, I've been kind of pleased with Brunson and Cat today, offensively anyway. I know we got some bad calls. Cat sometimes defensively was in bad spots today, but I don't even know. Usually I blame Cat on his pick and roll defense. I'm not even sure if I could even do that today. I don't know if it was like all on Cat. I don't know if it was like scheme. Like I don't know. I feel like I blame more Thibs about the defense today than Cat. That's the way
Agreed.
I'm feeling.
I agree. OG's definitely been worth every penny. I think he's been the best all-around player for the Knicks so far. Obviously, Karl-Anthony Towns is playing phenomenal offensively, but I think OG's been the team MVP to start this season, and also holding my breath every time he falls, but also thanking God that both James Dolan and Leon Rose were not cheap with him, because he's the glue to everything that we do, even on the offensive end now too, as a bailout option. Speaking of Brunson, love the chemistry between him and Cat. He's obviously really making a priority to get Cat involved and to get Cat involved off of his passing and his dribble penetration, which is fantastic. And I'm seeing at least the scheming part of that complemented with Sims. Sims is not getting the shots at the rim or scoring at the rim the same way that Cat does, obviously, but they're in the same action on the strong side. I saw a great two-man action with Sims, where Sims set a ghost screen. Obviously, Brunson, as he always does, denied it, rolled to the hoop. Sims set, followed him along and kept his man with some separation. Brunson out to the hoop and got an and one. They ran the same play about a minute later with OG, and OG got to the rim and with a cross screen and got to the rim for a foul as well and hit both free throws. So I like that Brunson is utilizing his teammates and not trying to take it all on himself by driving the traffic. He's using Sims as a strainer and Caps as a strainer to make his shots more high efficient. And I like that Sims is involved in that action. I thought Sims was solid defensively too. Thought he moved his feet well. Thought he was pretty smart on his hedging on the three-point line. Thought he recovered well. The last couple of games, I have not been hard on Sims. I tweeted that statement and you retweeted it because I think Sims has become an easy punching bag. It's important, I think, to roast him when he's been god awful. But in the last 3 games, I would not say he's been god awful. I also would say that Cat has not been god awful defensively in the last 2 games. He's made some mistakes, but he has improved game to game. To me, Bridges has been god awful, which is why a lot of my concentration in this episode is roasting him and
Right.
roasting Thibs. Sims, I think, is a great option for what he's having to do right now with Precious and Mitch out. Obviously, when those guys are back in rotation, he will be in street clothes in a suit on the end of the bench unless it's an emergency. But I think Sims has been very solid, and I don't think there's any reason to bash him. If you're really watching the tape and you're watching the game, it's a team miscues, team lapses, teams not rotating toward who has the ball, and just like really not adjusting even on their own in in-game situations, whether it's guarding that high pick and roll or covering the corners. It's the same mental lapses and mistakes that led to these bad losses.
Yeah, I agree. Like sometimes I feel like guys get in the habit of just auto response. You know what I mean? It's like Sims is bad. All right, cool. Sims is bad this game. And it's like, okay, now every game Sims is bad, no matter what if he does actually good or bad. It gets a little bit annoying sometimes. Like you gotta actually watch the game and see if he's playing bad. And you actually posted a stat that talked about his rim protection and Sims is top 10 in rim protection. And you heard me say that. I mean, you've heard me say it's like, hey, I don't feel like Sims had a bad few games. I feel like he's been playing well, and I'm happy those stats came out because it kind of justifies or backs up kind of what I've been seeing and you've been seeing as well. So I'm happy that he's at least being a serviceable guy on defense, which is what his role is. He's not here to put up 20 and 10. He's here to, maybe get 10 rebounds if he gets the minutes, but he's only getting like 10 minutes a game. Play defense, get rebounds, set screens. That's what he's here for. Hopefully, he can develop some other offensive game. It seems like he's attempted a few post-ups since he's been here, but he hasn't really been getting the ball in the post that much. But he's doing his job, and that's what you can ask for at this point.
Yeah, I think people like to act like he's like Travis Knight out there or something, and really he's more of Ronnie Turioff. He plays good, solid team defense. He sets really good screens. He plays good rim protection, but he's not going to score. So it can be a little troubling that it's 4-on-5 sometimes when the Knicks have the ball out there because you can't depend on him to catch a lob, or even like he mistimes his jumps a lot too for offensive putbacks. But overall, I think he's for a third string, maybe a fourth, I don't know. He's doing a serviceable job, and there's a reason that Tom Thibodeau is playing him. Thibs is not an idiot. I don't think I know more than Thibs. I obviously can't coach better than Thibs. I'm an ass crack semi-analyst trying to give my opinion, but I at least am acknowledging that right now I see simple things that Thibs could be changing on a defensive end, but it doesn't mean that I don't understand why he's playing Sims over Hot Porty and how Sims has been positively impacting the game. All those things just at the same time.
Agreed with all points, man. Thibs, man, just play more guys. It's that simple. Just play more guys. At times like these, we need to just give our guys a rest anyway. It's worth it to play our backup point guard more than a minute and 47 seconds. Like, he really played Tyler a minute and 47 seconds. Like, what the hell, man? Oh, salute to the chat, man. Salute to the chat. I don't have any gunshots. If I did, I'd be hitting him right now. Shout out to Fritz, who's running the stream while I'm at my sister's for the week while she goes celebrate her birthday for the next week or so. But shout out to Prezi the Boss, S. Parker, Fritz Alessandro, best mod in the game. Shout out to SK. Shout out to Nostalgia Nick. Always love that his name. And S. Parker. Everybody else. Wit official too. Everybody that's rocking with the KLT show. If you like the show, hit that like and subscribe. We're here after every game talking this basketball. Prezi says he's the best screener in the game. I guess he's talking about Sims. Yeah, I guess so.
On the team.
Yeah.
I would say now that Mitch is out, I would say he is.
Yeah, I would say that. I definitely say that. It took him a while to get there. It took Mitch a while to get to
very true
a good screener, because we complained about that for years. But yeah, I don't know. I know you said you had something to say about Leon Rose.
Oh yeah, this is not a Tom Thibodeau roster. I tweeted that before the Atlanta game. It's going to take some very serious adjusting by Thibs. Thibs has always had his rim protection. He's always had Brunson at the helm running the show, and he's had guys that he can bring off the bench that are defensive specialists. He's kind of had that the whole time he's been with the Knicks, except now. And with these injuries, we're even more depleted than we usually are, where he's having to turn to guys the otherwise would probably prefer not to, like Sims and Polik. He's having to play. Even Cameron Payne is not the typical Thibs defensive point guard. He likes a Deuce McBride type guys that don't go off stripped, that don't freestyle, that play defense and pass the ball into the open shot. So I think that if anyone on this team has to adjust the most, it's not Cat or Brunson or Mikal, it's Tom Thibodeau, because Leon Rose has built a roster but does not play to his strengths. It really plays to his weaknesses. And offensively, it's something that Thibs, I don't think, has the creativity to really fully maximize a roster. He's not a Ty Lue brain or a Spoelstra brain or a Steve Kerr brain. He's very set in his ways. He intends to let his point guard run the offense. But Brunson is not a playmaker first point guard. He wants to go and get a shot. He's not looking to set other guys up. So there needs to be someone, a voice. And now with Johnny Bryant gone, it's a really huge absence. Is it Mo Cheats? I don't know. Does Brunson become that guy? Is it Brunson's dad? I don't know who that dude is. Who's going to really tap into the full potential of this offense. But I do know that Leon Rose does deserve some criticism, similar to Kemba Walker, and Evan Fournier period where he brought those guys in, that right now it's going to take Thibs a really harsh adjustment to make all of these pieces work defensively, not offensively, but defensively. I think Thibs can do it, and I am no way anywhere close to fire Thibs, not at all. But I'm lighting his ass up because this was on him, and the last couple of losses have been on him. But I do think it's going to be a monumental challenge for him to adjust defensively to not having rim protection for more games than you do without Mitchell Robinson and now without Precious Achiuwa.
Yeah, I'm with you on the offense. I'm not worried about. I mean, yes, you can be worried about the offense. I still feel like that'll be figured out for sure. Brunson is definitely figuring out that balance. 10 assists game, 30 points, 10 assists. You figured something out today. You definitely did. You figured something out today. Also, I've noticed that Thibs has Brunson coming off ball in certain spots. It gives him some room to rest, gives him room to hit spot up threes. Sometimes you just hope to, get some more off ball action for post ups or something like that. But I think that's going to come with time. I'm not really worried about the offense long term. To me, it's always been, since the trade happened, what's this defense looking like? Even with Mikal and OG being the defensive guys they are, can we get something going with Cat in the middle? It's going to take some work, and hopefully he can get there. A commenter said this a while ago, and I thought this was a good point. He said, "We're the East Coast Denver Nuggets." And I was like, "Huh." I mean, we haven't been to the promised land like the Denver Nuggets, but I can see the comp of why you would say that, because Jokic is not your rim protector, but he can also be pretty skilled and pass and shoot and do all those things, and they put guys around them who can play defense. So I can kind of see where you're going with that. But we just have to work at it, man. We definitely have to work at it. And I commend Cat for, at least as of now, regaining his rebounding prowess, because he didn't have to do that in the Timberwolves at playing the 4. He's been doing that with us playing the 5. We just need to let him get sharper playing defense. Again, this is overall. Today, I'm not even putting this defensive game on Cat today, as I have in other games. But in general, I think that's going to help us in the long term.
I need to props to Rick Carlisle, because Tom Thibodeau didn't just choke this game away. Rick Carlisle, I thought, had really good schematics and game planning for how to guard us and what to allow and what not to allow. And I was paying attention to his first 3 timeouts in the first half of the game, and he called the timeouts after certain things happened. The first time that he did it was top of the key. No, the first time he did it was OG sealed Turner in the paint and got a really easy bodying layup. I'm sorry, Siakam, not Turner. The other one was Cat caught. There's a transition, and Cat caught a 3 at the top, nailed it by swoosh. No ball movement, just in transition, easy bucket off of a missed 3 by the Pacers. He'd call another timeout. And I was like, okay, I see what he's doing. He's telling his team, there are shots we will live with where if they make it, I'm not calling timeout, and you guys have to crawl yourselves back into the game. But there are things we are not going to allow the Knicks to get into, because if they do, continuity doesn't matter, their chemistry doesn't matter, because it's free flowing. Those are Cat pull-up threes, and those are OG easy points in the paint. When they start containing that, after that, they always came out after those timeouts in a full court press to make sure that they weren't going to let that happen again, to where it became a trend throughout the game. And they cut it off. In the second half, I didn't see a whole lot of Cat pull-up threes, and I certainly didn't see OG have the same aggressiveness that he did in the first half after the first 5 minutes of a third. So what it came down to was now they were prepared. If Brunson was trapped in the mid-range or Cat was doubled in the low post, they knew where they were kicking it out to. It was at that point it became easy to guess where the ball was going, and they were stealing it and turning it over and getting easy points down the other line. So major props to Rick Carlisle for figuring us out. Unluckily for us, we're very easy to figure out right now this early in the season, because we're kind of just playing react a minor version of that, trying to easy points, and we don't really have a lot of chemistry with each other. So I think we're easy to game plan against if you have the right coach. And the Pacers are deceptively good on defense. Statistically, they're awful, But in the fourth quarter, possession to possession, they can churn out some really intense defensive efforts because they have the athletes on there between Mathurin and Halliburton and Turner and Siakam. If those four guys are there, they can really play collapsing defense. It's suffocating, as well as closing out on shooters. So props to Rick Carlisle, man. He came with a good game plan, and he suffocated us in the fourth.
Yeah, I agree. Knicks had 13 turnovers in this game compared to Indiana's 6 turnovers. I thought this team was actually going to be a team that's going to be able to turn other teams over more. That hasn't really been the identity of this team.
Right.
So I would like, or it seems like this team is more of a 24-second team. Like, we'll stop you for 24 seconds and get a turnover that way, than like poking the ball away in a fast break team. So they did a really good job of just turning us over. Also, to your point, Lee, about the cat above the big threes, you're right. I kind of noticed that. I feel like they did a really good job just kind of blocking Brunson's field of vision for that drop back pass, because I would notice that two people be following Brunson after the screen, and I don't think he was here when I talked about this. I think I was doing the show by myself. That pass is available usually where if the Carlisle Towns is screening at the top, it's kind of awkward for a guard to like have to stop, turn around, and pass the ball behind them. So sometimes you end up having to do like a kind of like a drop back pass like that. Okay. But if there's two people kind of shadowing you and building blocking your field of vision, that pass comes a lot harder. And I kind of feel like that might be a reason why he wasn't able to get that pass to Carlisle Towns in the fourth quarter as much. He was still able to eat and get his own, but I think that's what's happening, and that's just off of what I've been seeing. So I don't know if that's an adjustment. Maybe like Carl has to like slide over to get in his field of vision. I don't know. But that's something to look out for moving forward when you play the Pacers, to see like if they continue that type of defense.
Man, I hope no other teams catch on to it. I hope they're as dumb as me, because I didn't have the vision to pick up on that. That's a great point. And Brunson's size doesn't help either when you add that crowding, so he can't see who his bailout options are. Oh man, I didn't really put him in trouble in the mid range. If you start having an Eric Spoelstra that abuses that defensively. Nice catch, man. I hope we're able to scheme against that, but right now I don't have a lot of hope for it.
I don't know. Like, maybe like it might just be better screens to be more separations for that pass. Maybe it's something like that. Because a lot of times those screens be kind of like quick brush screens from Cat, not like full on like hit you, get separation. Now you got to make a decision. So hopefully there's an adjustment to be made so he can get those passes cleaner and just available to him. But yeah, good points, Lee. I don't know if I have anything else to say. I'm
pissed. Sucks.
Ditto. Copy that. Pissed. Sucked. We are like a kind of a 500 team right now with the talent we have. We're in that range where it's like it's not time to panic, but you're still raising the eyebrow. You're still concerned about where we can finish. You also know that we still have people who are in the fold. Like we did pick up Matt Ryan, who's another shooter that we can use going down the line. Maybe Thibs is waiting to get him some more practice time before he implements him. We still have to wait for Precious Achiuwa to get back. Precious Achiuwa traveled with the team when we went away, but he hasn't actually practiced as of yet. So I'm not sure how long it'll take for him to get back, but that's going to be a big piece. And of course, Big Mitch waiting in the wing, coming off the bench as a defensive guy, could help us as well. I'm not sure if he's going to help us against that starting five we have, because I still feel like that starting five defensively might be hard to contend with. I guess he would be better than Cat, but yeah, I can't wait to have Mitch back to kind of give us more versatility defensively.
Never trade Mitch, man. I've said it for a reason. I find his personality and social media antics to be obnoxious as hell, but I also try to keep in mind that he's a kid. He's not just a kid, he's a country boy. So he kind of has a different mentality than some of the other teammates. But I really love a guy. I think he's got a great heart, Obviously, he really indulges in kindness and love with the people that are close to him, and
Mhm.
you can't replicate what he brings on this court. Not even iHeart could. He is a superior rim protector, shot blocker, screen setter. He's just a beast as a role man, and I love the impact he has defensively. You're right. We're a completely different team. If Cat's not working defensively, we can move him to the four, and that could be exciting with those two twin towers in the post. So never trade him. It's just, especially with Cat at the five, it makes that even more prominent than ever.
I agree. We at least have to get a look of how we can kind of do some kind of bootleg Timberwolves type style lineup, even if it's not for the full game, even if it's for like 5 to 10 minutes a game when we run it and it works out for us for sure. All right. All right, yo. Shoot, do we have any bruh picks? Yo, I can't wait for Brian to get back, man.
Unload the clip. I got an oop pick. I like shouting out other players, and I did want to shout out Chet Holmgren. Took a nasty fall before the podcast went on. I was watching the OKC Thunder game, and he had to be helped off by his teammates. Couldn't put any weight on, I believe, his right leg. So they were undefeated. They only lost one game, having a really great start to their season with Hartenstein out and now Chet out. Ooh, man, Chet is he's definitely out for the rest of the game. Don't know how long he's going to be out. I hope it's not serious because I really wanted to see OKC in the finals, and I hope that doesn't disrupt their momentum.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. I was thinking about like, dang, what would have happened if Hartenstein was still here? Hartenstein would have been out.
Yeah, good point. Sad but true.
Because it's like, man, we really because I know people talk. I know people talk about, oh, we miss Randall and but in my mind, I'm like, man, I feel like we really miss Hartenstein.
Mm.
You know, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he would be injured too. We always had a debate about Hartenstein's health here too, because every time he does get big minutes, he's injured. So that's going to be something for OKC to look at moving forward. But he didn't get to play this season. That was also all season stuff. So
Yeah.
crazy. But they're still having lost. But we'll see how they hold up with now 2 centers out for sure.
Yep.
All right. But yeah, bruh. I see yes, Parker. All right, yo. Lee, any book club stuff?
Nah, man. I mean, I've been reading, but I'm. Let's hit this game. Let's hit this game out, man. Let's move on to the next game. Don't worry about me. Find me on Twitter. I'm pissed. I don't want to follow my page. Screw the books. I'm angry. Let's move on to a Nets easy win. I think the next 5 games, if I remember correctly, are all against like really garbage teams. Hopefully, if we figure some things out defensively.
Jeez, who are the next 5 games? Because we better win these next 5.
I know that the Nets are in there twice. The injured Philly is in there. Chicago's in there.
Oh yeah. We have to.
Wizards.
Oh gosh. Please, Lord, let us go on like a nice 6 game. Yeah, next game is the 76ers with that might be the game. I think that's the game that Embiid comes back. I think it's the game that Embiid comes back, but it's also Maxey is out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Paul George is out. I think Paul George is playing.
Man, we could use a break.
Is Paul George playing, chat? I feel like Paul George is healthy. But yeah, we do have the 76ers. I mean, still, like, you already know how that goes with Embiid. Embiid, first game back, you already know he's going to be in bad shape. We got to run him out the gym. I know Karl Anthony Towns historically has bad games against him because of his fouling, but we need to run him out the gym because Karl is definitely in better shape than he is. All right. Then we got Knicks Bulls, we got Knicks Nets twice in a row, back to back. Mikal Bridges, get ready. You'll be booed. All right. It is what it is. It will be booed.
No doubt.
There's gonna be booing. There's gonna be trolling by Nets talking about we fleeced you. It's gonna be all that. It's gonna be emotional. Then I have my Nets fan at the job that I have to troll. So we have to win those 2 games. All right. All right. And then we got the Wizards and the Phoenix Suns, who just lost Kevin Durant, who just got injured. So then it's the Jet. Yeah. We should We should win in these next few games. You should at least come out of here with like 4 or 5 wins. All right, cool. You can follow me, us, the KOT Show on Twitter, the Nick of Time Show on Instagram, and Nick of Time Show on Facebook. Coach Side says, a Nets fan, I laugh every time I see that joke. It's the same joke we've been running for years, and it's still funny to me. Yes, there is a Nets fan left. But he doesn't really follow basketball, which is probably why he's still a Nets fan. All right. He just wears a Nets hat every time I go into work. I'm telling him what's going on with his team. I'm like, did you know such and such got traded? He was like, what? It's like, oh, it is what it is. All right, cool. I got no anime stuff. All anime has been kind of dry lately. Bleach came back though. The new Bleach came back, so I've been watching that. The new season of Bleach, so on Hulu for you guys who are Bleach fans. But yeah, no new anime really. We can end the show. So that's the show, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time. We're out of here. Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.